Drama can't get our fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. On NFR, racing's the supreme. Checkered flags waving, champions arise. NFR brings the glory to our eyes. NFR, where the legends are born. Speeding past the limits, engines reborn. In the fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. NFR with the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR's lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You move to NFR, feel the speed.
Engines roar, the crowd goes wild. SAFRL under the lights. Tuesday night a battle begins. Speeding hearts chasing winds. Pit stops are lightning fast. Every second a driver must grasp. Bumps and spins on curves so tight. Fighting for glory beneath the twilight. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. The checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drama unfolds, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on this stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. Checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drama unfolds, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on the stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, 'cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fake. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
It's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beats. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. The track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. The victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. Lights are green, zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene, catch the action on your screen. NFR, NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar, round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. The victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone Town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
Like a shooting star, the engines roar, the tires scream. Fast as lightning, it's the dream. Speed and drama, every turn on NFR. The rubber burns, feel the thrill of every bend, where the champions transcend. Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR. Calls to play on NFR every race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. Not Fernando calls to play on NFR at race day. Commentary sharp and loud, hyping up the roaring crowd. Feel the power at NFR. Burning tracks, driving far, where the races never end. NFR, holy friend. Deaf queen, the top supporter scene. The crowd where speed is keen. NFR, the place to be. Join the race, watch and see.
racing dreams in flight. SAFRL thunder roar, spinning wheels forevermore. Engines scream at 8 o'clock, adrenaline like ticking clock. Turns and twists where legends bleed. Every fan needs to believe. In the league of SAFRL we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes. From the lows to the highest highs, it's the thrill that never dies. Pit stops quick, a race of fate. Champions born at heaven's gate. Trackside hearts beat wild and free. Victory for all to see. Rivalries burn tire lights, red and green in the night. Final lap on the moon's gaze, ending in a roaring blaze. Crowd rolls like crashing tide. In SAFRL we take pride. From start to end, hero fights, everlasting speed delight. In the league of SAFRL we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes. From the lows to the highest highs, it's the thrill that never dies. In the league of SAFRL we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes. From the lows to the highest highs, it's the thrill that never dies. In the league of SAFRL we rise, fuel and fire in our eyes. From the lows to the highest highs, it's the thrill that never dies. The thrill that never dies. Can stop quick, a race of fate. Champions born at heaven's gate. Trackside hearts beat wild and free. A victory for all to see. Rivalries burn tire might, red and green in the night. Final lap on the moon's gaze, ending in a roaring blaze. Crowd roars like crashing tide. In SAFRL we take pride. From start to end, heroes fight, everlasting speed delight. Delight.
Feel the speed, the thrill, high octane drama can't get our fill. Engines roaring loud, heartbeats on the rise. On NFR, see the sparks in our eyes. Racing through the night, chasing every turn. On NFR, adrenaline we burn. Pit stops and fast cars, it's a wild ride. NFR, in our veins we can't hide. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. Yeah. Every lap a story, every driver's dream. entrance we take the lead. On an fast lane, every second counts. NFR, the thrill always mounts. NFR, feel the rush, feel the speed. Formula One dreams, we take the lead. On NFR, we're flying high. Under the lights, we touch the sky. You will to NFR, feel the speed, the speed.
Dreams roar, the crowd goes wild. SAFRL under the lights. Tuesday night, a battle begins. Speeding hearts chasing winds. Pit stops are lightning fast. Every second a driver must grasp. Bumps and spins on curves so tight. Fighting for glory beneath the twilight. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. The checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on this stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. Checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on this stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fake. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story,
that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the faith. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story. That's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. Welcome back to SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Of course, 8 p.m. We're a little late today, 8 minutes past. Seems like we don't have a full lobby, just the 11 drivers. I think that's due to a lot of drivers suffering from connectivity issues with the game. I had those same issues last week Wednesday when we tried to do the HRA Division 2 race. We missed the entirety of qualifying. I was able to get in just before the 5 red lights. Hopefully some of those drivers will still be able to squeeze in before the end of quali. Welcome to Visor in the comment section. I'm not even looking at the comment section. I just saw in the corner of my eye, suddenly the comment section started jumping. That can only be Visor. This is Andre on an outlap. The only Williams in the field here tonight. Of course, a lot of the drivers missing their teammates due to those connectivity issues. It's nothing to do with the internet. It's all to do with the game. Just keep on trying. That's what I did last week Wednesday, and eventually it worked. This is Ghost Lord, one of the two Aston Martins, the other one Naked Champ, still in the pits. Virus out on an outlap, as is Top Gun, Sugar Bear, Skulk, and Andre. Another good thing about having a small field like this, it gives everybody that is here a great opportunity to score points. Seems like Visor got to the stream in time this time. This is Pantry Star. one of the two Mercedes. We have actually just gone up to 12 runners, so somebody was able to squeeze in. It's the second Williams. So Sabi has got himself into the lobby, and Andre has got himself a teammate. So up to 12 runners. Hopefully we'll see another one or two still squeeze in before the end of qualifying. No times on our screens just yet. This is the kick Salva. Just for a moment, I almost said the Alfa Romeo. It hasn't been an Alfa Romeo for quite some time, and it looks nothing like an Alfa Romeo, but every now and then the name still comes up. Of course, next year won't be Salva, won't be Kick, won't be any of those things. It's going to be the Audi factory team. And if they're able to carry over to F1 what they were able to do in endurance, then all of these F1 teams have something to fear. F1 is a very different ball game. Remember, the world's largest car manufacturer, Toyota, joined F1 with a very expensive project, almost doubling Ferrari's budget at the time. They were in the sport for almost 10 years, and all they got to show for it was a handful of podiums. Never got a win, never got a championship. F1 is not that easy. Just ask Lawrence Stroll and Aston Martin if throwing money at stuff wins you championships. Not quite. Sugar Bear, the quickest man on circuit. Skull, second quickest. Andre, third quickest. As I say that, those drivers go down. Top Gun goes up into P2. This is one of the two Aston Martins. The only one out on track. Naked Champ still in the pits. We haven't seen movement from that driver. Let's see. Goes forward as he's about to go over the line. It's at say 1 minute 55.7. I don't think that's a representative time. He'll go again. We're waiting for laps from Star. Still can't read that name. SPM P10. We've got Savvy also on an out lap looking for that first time. Spikes also out on track. That's the quickest man out there. Sugar Bear, followed by Pantry Star. Still waiting for a lap time from the second Mercedes. Top Gun P3 for now. Skull P4. Andre P5. This is what happens when you get a smaller lobby. Everybody gets an opportunity to get big points on the night. Bahrain, not a typical circuit for safety cars. Lots of runoff area, lots of space to go off the circuit and get away with it, and also not that many cars in the lobby, so you're not going to have that havoc that you usually get on lap 1. There's going to be a lot more space. Will the drivers use that space that's available is a different question. Andre currently P6, 29.5, Skull 29.2. Then another 29.2 for Spikes, 29.1 for Top Gun, really close. And then the 28s, Sugar Bear and Pantry Star, the only two in the 28s, very close together, just 9 thousandths of a second covering that front row, nothing in it. This was the last man to join the lobby. Looked like he wasn't gonna get in a race tonight, but got in here just in time. Welcome to Joe in the comment section, good to have you. Also one of the drivers we've commentated on this channel before, Not Shumi, joins the lobby. Hopefully another car will appear on the circuit shortly. Of course we started with 11, we're up to 12, hopefully we'll soon be up to 13. So Sabi, doesn't look like that first run went according to plan, he's backed off. He'll be under a little bit of pressure. Skull goes over the line. Good lap time. Look at that, a 1:28.8, and look at the top 3 lap times. 28.8, 28.8. You wouldn't believe it. 28.8. Less than a tenth of a second. You can call it 500ths of a second. Cover the top 3 drivers. And then Top Gun, not too shabby himself. He's close to the 28s, just a 29.1. Then the next two, 29.2. That's Spikes. Andre 29.5. He'll be looking for an improvement on that second run. Savvy's still looking for his initial run, as is the Naked Champ. As the session goes on, pressure will build on those drivers. Notsumi has officially taken control of his car. Pfizer asking if there's any rain. Well, doubtful here in Bahrain. But we have seen stranger things. I think not so long ago on this channel, don't know if it was SAFRL or SKR, it slips my mind now, but we had rain in Qatar. So it is totally possible. Because Bahrain and Qatar not too far apart. If rain is possible in Qatar, then why not? This game throws anything at you. This is Spikes, one of the 2 McLarens. Put up a poll earlier on to see how many of the viewers would be watching the launch of the cars later on tonight, and overwhelmingly seems to be a no. People not too interested in the extra glitz and glamour. Want to get down to testing, want to get down to the first race of the season. Yes, it is a bit of a ridiculous show. All the cars you're going to see tonight are the 2024 cars with this year's livery, and teams will continue to have their individual launches. So tonight is more of a show. Max Verstappen was one of the drivers who wasn't too keen on attending. But I think at the end of the day, Red Bull put the hammer down. So welcome to Robert also in the comment section. He's asking why some of these leagues have traction control and assists. Of course, we have different leagues and we have different rules for those leagues. In SAFRL it does allow for certain assists to be used, others cannot. You see just different criteria going from league to league. Some of the drivers in this league will be using absolutely no assists, some of them will. It's a bit of a mix. Top Gun. Is he one of 2 Red Bulls, or is he the only Red Bull? He's the only Red Bull here on the night. There's a lot of connectivity issues for the players prior to the race. Means a lot of the lobby wasn't able to get in here. Started with 11 drivers. We are up to 13, which means 2 have been able to squeeze in during qualifying. We're hoping to get a few more in before the end of the race. Sugar Bear, he is on provisional pole. Skull in P2. Panther Star. One of the 2 Mercedes here on the night. The other one SPM down in P10. Savvy has completed his first lap, but that was not a representative lap. 45.6. He's coming to the pits to prepare for another run. Still 6 minutes remaining. SPM goes quickest, 28.3, just keeps on moving the benchmark a little further. 28s were 1, 2 and 3, 28.8 was 1, 2 and 3 not so long ago. Now there's already been improvement and another improvement. It's Mercedes 1, 2. Mercedes 1, 2. Sugar Bear not so long ago was on provisional pole. Well, now he's down in P3. Times are coming in thick and fast. Still waiting for a lap time from Naked Champ. Everybody else has gone over the line to set a lap. Of course, that lap from Sabi, not a representative one. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Are you new to the channel? I don't think I've seen your name here before. Pantry Star still the man in P1 for the time being. Then it's SPM, Mercedes 1-2. Maybe that's a sign of things to come in 2025. What a story it would be. Of course, George Russell has the experience. Kimi Antonelli, well, he sounds excited. Top Gun, Sugar Bear, seems like he's about to emerge from the pits. Skull in the pits. This is not Shumi, one of the late joiners. This is Ghost Lord. A 1:30.2 is his best time at the moment. Still needs to find a bit of time if he's going to thrust himself up this order. Sabi now to the rear of the field. 1:45.6, needs to improve that lap time. Still Mercedes 1-2. Naked Champ, big improvement. 28.5, puts himself up into P3. Left things a little bit late, but we've seen that from that driver on multiple occasions, leaving things late. Top Gun now down to P4. Driver's going to have to remain out on circuit right till the very end. Track seems to be getting better. If it's not getting better, it's just the driver's getting more and more confident, pushing that little harder, digging that little deeper. But you can't afford to spend time in the pit snapping at the end here. You need to be out on circuit, because these lap times are coming down very quickly, and a time that might seem impressive right now might not seem too impressive in 3 minutes from now. Sunder is here as well. Welcome, Sunder. Showing support for not Shumi, almost missing the race this evening. Got in, one of the drivers to get in at the last minute. Good to have him here. Quiet racetrack for now. Drivers leaving things late. You don't want to leave things too late. The last thing you want is that final run to be impeded by a slower car ahead. Got to make sure it's every driver's responsibility to have a look at that track map before they leave the pits. Make sure they leave onto that track in a decent position. If you find yourself coming out of the pits into a snake of cars, well, it's really your fault. In F1, you can blame the engineers, you can blame the mechanics, who put me out on track at this time. But in the game, well, it was your choice to leave the pits. Top drivers, top 4 drivers, all in the pits. As I say that, SPM comes out, as does Pantry Star. So the 2 Mercedes ready to defend that front row. They're going to have to do a bit to defend that front row, because the times are awfully close. Look at that. The first 6 drivers, all in the 28s. The first 6 drivers split by 7. Is that 7/10 of a second? 6/10 of a second between the top 7 drivers. Spikes is on an outlap. 29.2, Shumi 29.0. Lots of drivers looking for an improvement. Sabi 31.0, so he did find an improvement. That first lap was a 45. He's brought it down considerably. This is Sugar Bear. I think he just lit up Sector 2. He lit up Sector 2 in purple. This man's going quick. Keep your eyes on the Sauber. I'm going to call it by its full name. Is it Steak Kick Sauber or is it Kick Steak Sauber? I'm not sure. It's Sauber. We'll go with Sauber. I said it was a quick time. It wasn't quick enough for the front row, but it's a 28.4. Good enough for the second row. Sugar Bear leaving it late. Let's have a look at Skull, one of the Haas drivers. In fact, the only Haas driver here this evening. Going in for that final run, 28.8. He's going to get himself up onto the front row. Needs to find himself off a second. Oh, look a bit squirmy there on the exit. He's gone quicker in sector 2. It's not quickest, but it's quicker than his previous best. He's found 2/10 in sector 2. So far this will give him a 28.6. He turns with Top Gun. If he wants to get himself onto the front row, he's going to need to find at least half a second. Let's see what he's able to find as he goes over the line. Well, he's able to find 4/10. He does get himself onto the front row. Not pole, but front row. Not Shumi. Another man with support in the comment section. Not one of the two, the only Ferrari here this evening. Some of these teams have a big advantage. They've got two cars here this evening, get them both in the points. It's going to be a nice couple of points for you on the night. Some of the cars with a disadvantage, just the one driver, and if that driver happens to retire, no points on the night for the team. For a lot of the drivers, checker flag has fallen. They're riding with not Shumi, who's currently in sector 2. Let's see where Pantry Star is. Pantry Star's about to go over the line. It was 2/10 quicker in sector 2. Let's see how much quicker he can go over the line. His teammate's gone into provisional pole, and he hasn't been able to take it back. 27.9 for SPM, 28.8 for Pantry Star. I'm sure Pantry Star thought he had him, but that's as close as it's going to get between two teammates. Mercedes 1-2, not Shumi, we didn't see it, but he's popped the Ferrari up into P3. Skull down to P4 as a result, and that is the end of quali. Just to go through the results, SPM, Pantry Star, that's the front row, and all Mercedes front row, and less than a tenth of a second covering the two teammates. Then Not Shumi in P3, a late joiner. We got Skull P4, Sugar Bear P5, Naked Champ P6. Then you got Top Gun, Spikes, Andre Skulk making up the top 10. Outside the top 10 with a bit of work to do, Virus, Ghost Lord, and Sabi makes up the field. Of course, now we head off into the race. Normal SAFRL format. Of course, we've just had the short quali, the 18-minute session. Now we're going off into a 50% race. That is the 50% distance around Bahrain. Of course, night race. Not going to get going immediately. Of course, first, drivers do their little strategies, do their little last minute setups. What tires are they going to start on? How deep into the race do they intend to go? Things like this. And then, of course, dual green lights. Get off for a formation lap. And then we will get underway. Of course, season 10, round 6. 2 more rounds after this one. 2 more rounds in SKR and 2 more rounds in SAFRL. And that will be the end of season 10. Just a quick look at the calendar. You can see there we are, round 6, Bahrain, 2 circuits to go. 2 circuits that need absolutely no introduction. Next week we head to Spa, and then we finish things off in Silverstone. We's asking what the pole time was. I believe it was a 27.9, and P2 was a 28.0. SPM and Pantry Star, they're going to lead the way. Front row Mercedes starts, and that's not how you want to get things going. SPM actually loses it there around the first corner. Not going to affect him too much. He has fallen down the field, but he's going to still be able to park in his number 1 grid slot. Now instead of taking this lap to warm up his tires, and prepare his brakes. He now needs to slap to clean up his tyres. He spent some time off circuit. Of course, luckily for him, he will be able to simply go back to his grid slot. Message from Death Queen in the comment section. Good luck to everyone on the grid. Even though when she says everyone, she's really meaning Skull and Andre primarily, and then a little bit of luck for the rest of you. SPM and Pantry Star. Fantastic performance from the two Mercedes, and then just split by 7/100ths of a second in qualifying. Absolutely nothing in it. And if that's the sort of pace we're going to see in the race, they're able to bring that almost matching lap times into the race. We're going to have long DRS trains and an exciting race. Hopefully no safety cars, or if we do get safety cars, let's keep them to a minimum. Now wait, just the final cars parking up. Can be really frustrating for the guys at the front. Feels like they've been sitting there forever. And now we just await the 5 red lights. They'll come on one by one, and when there's 5 of them, there'll be a pause, and when they go out, we'll be underway. There we go, Mercedes versus Ferrari into turn 1. Will not Shumi accept his fate and just hold on to P3, or will he try and do something silly? Went for the outside, but it's a Mercedes 1-2. Ferrari holds on to its position, but there was slight contact, no damage done. It's SPM, Pantry Star, not Shumi, and Naked Champ up into P4. Skull's lost the position, he's gone down to P5. Then we've got Sugar Bear P6, Spike P7, Top Gun P8, Andre up into P9. Then we've got Virus P10. Got Ghost Lord, Skulk, and Savvy just outside the top 10. SPM lighting up the screen in purple. That's because it's lap 1 and he's in front. Then Pantry Star still follows closely. Shumi thought about a move around the outside on that turn 1, just ran out of space. Luckily he didn't commit to it too much, and he was able to pull out, hold on to his position, didn't lose too much momentum, otherwise that field would have just swallowed him up. Would have found himself in the midfield. Luckily for him, he's still very much at the front. Just doesn't want this gap to open up too much. Of course, gap from P1 to P2, 7/10 of a second. Once it goes over the 1 second mark, then DRS is no longer applicable. Ferrari back to the inside, thinking about the position, getting really aggressive. You can hardly see that Ferrari behind the second Mercedes. That's how close it is. Is he going to think about it? Not quite yet. Does go to the inside. No, he doesn't. Remains a Mercedes 1-2. Almost looks like a Mercedes 1, 2, and 4, but that's an Aston Martin. For some reason I still mistake the Aston Martin for a Mercedes every now and then. It just depends on that angle. If it's at the right angle, I'd swear it's a Mercedes. At least half a Mercedes. It does have a Mercedes engine and a Mercedes gearbox and pretty much a Mercedes everything else, with some nice Aston Martin branding. This is one of the 2 McLarens. This is Spike's. Those are the possible race strategies. They don't actually make that much sense to me, so take that with a pinch of salt. Visor, is that Visor? Yes, it's Visor giving us a prediction for a safety car in 10 laps. Either that's a prediction or Jeff now tells you when the safety cars are coming. That would be interesting if Jeff just came on the radio and said safety car in 10 laps. There'd be some dicey things going on there. Spikes, speaking of dicey, goes to the inside of the circuit, cut the circuit a little bit. I'm sure he got a warning for that. course 3 warnings and you're on to the penalties. And those penalties can rack up awfully quickly. Bring up your fire screen for the first time in this race on lap 3 of 29, so you can all get a better idea of who is doing what. You see it's a pretty even spread really between the mediums and the softs. Just the 2 drivers going on the hard compound, that is Sugar Bear and Skulk. The 2 Salbers doing something different, obviously those teammates in communication working together, trying the same strategy, both going on the hard. We saying, oh, that's not a good message. We saying RIP if you go on the hards. That is not a message the Salber drivers would like to hear. That's Sugar Bear and Skulk, the 2 Salber drivers, both on the hard compound. Nobody else on circuit has chosen to go with that strategy. Visor saying it looks cloudy. Maybe it looks cloudy outside your window, but I'm not sure what clouds you're looking at. Visor, oh, if he had full control of these races, these would be some very interesting races in terms of weather conditions. I'm sure if you could put a tornado on the game, he'd do it. Not Shumi sets the fastest lap of the race so far. It's a 1:31.8. He has gone into the lead of the race. He has surpassed the 2 Mercedes. We're riding here with spikes. Ahead of him there's an Aston Martin, another Mercedes. Cars going side by side. So important in these early stages of the race not to get carried away, not to lose a front wing. If it turns out to be a race of no safety cars, that one front wing, that one extra pit stop could be the one factor that ends your race here tonight, or at least ends your chances of a victory here tonight. Natsumi leads the way. What might explain that very aggressive start, might have thought he had the extra grip around the outside. It's those soft tyres. Natsumi on a set of soft tyres. Naked Champ on a set of soft tyres in P3. Those drivers need to make full use of those tyres before they fall off and the track goes to the mediums. Skull has retired from the race. He is in the comment section though, saying he had no grip. He made a mistake at the beginning of qualifying, did not select his setup, went with a default setup, and the default setup on this game, well, at certain tracks doesn't feel too bad. At other tracks it's a near disaster. Skull deciding to call it a day on his race. We're down to 12 runners. Sunder showing his support for Natsumi, and he'll be the happiest man in the comment section now. Natsumi is leading the way, but it's not a comfortable lead, just 3/10 of a second. SPM just behind him, but he's on a set of medium tyres. Those medium tyres are going to go further. They're going to be in better condition for a longer amount of time. So this is the time Natsumi needs to be running away. He needs to be running down the road so he can build a bit of a gap for when he does do that pit stop. But at the moment, SPM in that Mercedes, he's able to match the soft runner on the harder tyre. Still Natsumi out front. Then Naked Champ in P3. Pantry Star still P4. We've got Top Gun, Sugar Bear, Spikes, Andre. Also got Skulk and Ghost Lord. Hopefully it should arrive next week. But hopefully in the next week or two my voice should start sounding a lot better over the stream. I've actually ordered a mic, a proper mic. I've never used a proper mic on the stream. I've been using my headphones. Hopefully there will be A bit of an improvement and not so much background noise. I hear a lot of background noise on my own streams. At the front, still SPM. SPM's actually gone ahead. Not Shumi was ahead. SPM's gone ahead, and look at the gap. He's opened up the gap. Not Shumi must have made a mistake. 1.2 seconds, and now Naked Champ in P3. Just going to go over to the pit screen, see if anybody has made a stop. Nobody's made a pit stop. Seems like nobody's picked up damage in these early stages. No early pit stops being raced so far. There has been a bit of wheel to wheel. There has been a bit of nudge. But no carbon fiber flying across the race circuit for now. He's saying that the two stop is actually really quick around here. So, and that the hard tires are simply too hard. They could do the entire distance of the race. So, strategy here in Bahrain, maybe the one stop not the ideal. Need to do something different. Don't know how many of you in the comment section saw the news earlier about maybe 2 or 3 hours ago that the rules for Monaco, they are looking at changing those rules for the Monaco Grand Prix, where F1 are going to set more than one mandatory pit stop for the Monaco Grand Prix to try and spice things up a little bit. Because as far as overtaking on the circuit goes, I think they've given up on that at this point. Naked Champ in P3. He left things late in quali, got himself up to the top of the field towards the end of things. Now he's running around in P3, but he has lost contact with the leaders. He's 3.3 seconds adrift from P1 and 2. Not Shumi. He's done pretty well here. Remember, made some sort of a mistake. SPM pulled a gap of 1.3 seconds on him. We thought that might be the end of it, but Not Shumi has reeled him back in. That gap just half a second, well within DRS. And soon he's going to be in the position to start attacking once more. Still SPM, Not Shumi. You can see a whole stream of cars there in the background going into the pits. This is going to be an interesting race. This is going to be a race of strategy. This is going to be a race of rolling the dice and getting it right at just the perfect moment. Pitting one lap too late, pitting a lap too early could cost you a race here. It's going to come down to race strategy. I was expecting the one stop. I've just become so accustomed to the one stop. Please, in the comment section, very quick driver and a very experienced driver, and if he says a two stop is extremely quick around here, well, I expect to see some two stops. SPM still out front, 0.6 of a second now the gap, so Not Shumi holding on to him. That's not really the result he wants. He doesn't want to be holding on to the medium runner. He should be leading the medium runner. Sugar Bear. He continues with that hard tyre. Remember the two Salbers, they both started on the hard tyre. Skulk and Sugar Bear, 7 laps on those hards. Top Gun has come into the pits and put on a brand new set of hard tyres, so it looks like he's going to be looking to go right to the end. Not really sure how much pace those hard tyres have though. Still Mercedes versus Ferrari. Been watching Formula 1 for quite some time. Well, this will bring back some memories. Mercedes versus Ferrari. Of course, we still see it today, but the era I'm talking about. Hamilton versus Vettel. Time after time you saw these cars battling. That's when Ferrari gave Vettel a car to battle with. Strong rumours of a possible Vettel return. But that is a rumor of a Vettel return to F1, not necessarily as a driver. So we could see Sebastian Vettel in F1 in some other role. Great to see Seb back in the sport. Pantry Star. Second Mercedes, the other Mercedes, is leading the race and has been leading the race for quite some time. The spikes, the two McLarens. Sabi, the only Williams, actually one of two Williams, Andre up the road in P4. Of course, as of 2025, looks like Williams' money issues may have come to an end. Of course, Williams have signed their biggest sponsor deal in their 60-year history, 67-year history, I think it is. Can't remember the name of it. It's quite a long name, but putting a lot of money into Williams, and they're also their new title sponsor. But I will still be calling it Williams. Just like this is a Ferrari. And I'm not going to start calling it Scuderia Ferrari HP anytime soon. Scuderia Ferrari sounds just fine. In case you were wondering what Scuderia means, it's not a fancy Italian word, it just means team. Team Ferrari. There you go. SPM. Sugar Bear. Sugar Bear playing a very different game to everybody else. Remember, he started on the hard compound, him and his teammate. He's made up more ground than his teammate. His teammate is in the midfield in P6. Sugar Bear, on the other hand, in P2. He's saying he has some interesting news, and he may be doing a ACC Porsche Cup. Racing for Panda City, that would be an interesting one. I haven't done ACC in a very long time. In fact, ACC, I don't think it's ever been on this channel. It was probably on my old channel. But we did a bit of ACC, but that was, things got a bit complicated between the PC and the console and everything else. For now, commentary is focusing on F1. Of course, I did do a few endurance races back in the day. 6 hours of Kyalami. Wasn't that a fun one? For the record, that's me being sarcastic. It was a terrible race. Turn 1, massive incident involving 12 cars. Those cars all came into the pits. If you know how endurance racing works, you know that those pit stops can vary very much in time. So some guys came in, had a pit stop of a minute, other guys had a pit stop of 5 minutes, laps went by. Some cars were 3 minutes apart, some cars were 4 minutes apart. It was a disaster. I landed up talking rubbish for 6 hours. Spikes. Ooh, things got messy there in the background. You see almost 4 cars trying to get into the same position. Physics 101. 2 objects cannot take up the same place. Can't go 4 wide into a corner, and they almost did. Luckily, all of the drivers' sanity prevails. Everybody holds on to their wings, everybody holds on to their carbon fiber. You don't want to be doing any unnecessary pit stops. 12 runners still remain from the 13 that started. This is the second Salva. Things have been going well for his teammate up the road. Started on the hard compound and he's made up a nice amount of ground up to P2. As for Skull, hasn't really been able to switch those hards on as his teammate has. Sits down in P8 for now. He'll be looking very forward to dropping off those hard tyres, getting onto something a little better, so he can have a little bit more confidence in that car, throw it around a little bit more. I think those tyres are just, they haven't switched on, they're not up to temperature, they're not doing what they're supposed to. Sugar Bear, there he is in P2, 2.8 seconds away from the leader. Of course, those mediums will start to go off eventually. And the track should come to Sugar Bear. If we follow the advice of Wheeze in the comment section, then those hards are going to be incredibly slow. So will the one stop pay off? It's not going to pay off if everyone down the road can simply catch up to you. Spikes, and he's got a DRS train behind him, a dangerous DRS train behind him. You can go on board and look behind. There we go, from the rear wing of Spikes you can see a whole trail of cars. There's a Red Bull, there's a Mercedes, there's an Aston Martin, and they all want his third place. So Spikes under a lot of pressure, that final podium spot coming under a lot of pressure here on lap 13 of 29. Still a long way to go, we're not even at halfway distance. Sugar Bear out front. SPM comes into the pits, relinquishes the lead and gets onto a set of hard tyres. So it seems like the man in P1 and the man in P2 are on alternating strategies. SPM started on the medium, Sugar Bear started on the hard. SPM is now pit for that hard. And Sugar Bear in a few laps time will inevitably come in and put on the medium, I believe. Unless he really wants to stretch these tyres, take a soft right at the end. I don't think that would be too advisable if he's losing great amounts of time on this tyre. This is Sugar Bear. Top Gun is now the man in P2 and he's under some heavy pressure. Spikes was the man at the front of that queue. Top Gun has obviously gotten past the McLaren since. Trying to open up a bit of a gap. He doesn't want that DRS queue to come with him. Wants to get away from that. Such a difficult place to be, leading a DRS train, because everyone behind you gets the advantage of DRS. You as the car in front, you're the only one with no DRS. You only have that battery to rely on, and if you haven't managed that battery particularly well, you'll find yourself defenseless at the very next straight. Long back straight here as they approach the main straight. Gonna get DRS. Are we gonna get an overtake here? McLaren on Red Bull. We see another car diving into the pits there in the background. That was Pantry Star, one of the two Mercedes. McLaren does get back in front. Not too much defense, not too much fight from Top Gun. Not much you can do really. Not to let it happen. It's the power of DRS in modern F1. Back in the day, cars were a lot lighter, cars were a lot smaller, and DRS did not exist. You had to make these overtakes on your own. Sometimes it would take lap upon lap upon lap before that overtake finally came. I remember a race in the early 2000s between Michael Schumacher and his brother Ralph Schumacher in Canada. Ralph Schumacher tried for over 60 laps get past his brother. At the end of the day, they finished 1-2. just could not make the overtake. Had he had DRS that day, it would have been a very different story. Because the Williams was clearly the faster car that day. Mercedes versus McLaren, Mercedes power versus Mercedes power, and just behind them there's another Mercedes powered car. Of course, Aston Martin giving up their Mercedes engines at the end of 2025. They will be moving on over to Honda power. Honda leaving Red Bull, Red Bull going to Ford, Honda going to Aston Martin. And then that extra Mercedes engine that was being used by Aston Martin, it's going to Alpine. So it will only be Alpine in name, no more Renault. It's going to be a Mercedes under the covers. It'd be quite ironic if the Alpine was suddenly quick this year and then they switched to Mercedes and went backwards again. Sugar Bear leads, Top Gun is closing the gap, and this is the risk of being on the hard tyre when the hard tyre is not doing much for you. Sugar Bear had a 20-second lead just a lap ago. It's an 18.5 second lead. It's no longer a pit stop lead, so if he's going to pit, he's going to have to pit soon. Is it going to be this time round? No, it's not. It stays to the left of the circuit, clear of the pit lane entry. Sugar Bear versus Top Gun, 18.2. He's taken another 3/10 out of him in a matter of corners. So Top Gun definitely has the speed or the grip advantage. Not sure. Both of those cars on hard tyres, just Top Gun on fresher hard tyres. SPM takes the position away from Top Gun, puts himself up into P2, the gap 17.8 seconds, so continues to come down. And now the man that led the race, for a majority of the race, he's up into P2 with a clear racetrack ahead of him. He's going to be focusing on that gap and bringing that gap down before Sugar Bear makes a visit to the pits for some better tyres. Going to be a race that won't necessarily be one on the racetrack. It might be one in the pits. Whoever changes these tires at the right time. You don't want to spend too much time on a set of tires that just aren't working. This is Sugar Bear. Gap continues to come down, 17.2 seconds. Remember, at one stage it was a 20-second gap, so he's lost 3 seconds of his lead already. Does he stay to the left or does he dive into the pits? Stays to the left for now, so no pit stop from him. 16.6 seconds. Gap continues. Top Gun, just 0.6 of a second behind the Mercedes. He's trying to stay with him, get towed around. Spikes defending from Naked Champ. Not for much longer. Spikes dives into the pits. He's going to get rid of those mediums. Now not Shumi in P6. Relatively new softs. I think those softs might be going right to the end of the race. And there's Spikes emerging from the pits on a new set of medium tyres. Andre, driver currently in P7, Pantry Stars, just made up a position. He's up into P8, Spikes P9. This is Ghost Lord. And I think they call him Ghost Lord because he's ghosting. I saw that car ghosting, or was the McLaren ghosting? One of them were ghosting. I thought maybe that's why they call him Ghost Lord, because he ghosts around the circuit. Don't send me texts when I'm commentating, you'll be ignored. Sugar Bear leads the way. SBM P2, Top Gun P3, Naked Champ P4, Not Shumi P5. The only driver there in the top 5 on a set of medium tyres is Naked Champ, and I don't think he's going to be out there for too much longer. He's already got 10 laps on those tyres. Sugar Bear does eventually come into the pits. Remember, 20-second gap. By the time he came into the pits, it was a 15-second gap. Lost 5 seconds on those extra laps. But now he's put on a set of mediums. And in the second stint of the race, he should have a big advantage on the 2 cars ahead of them. They're both on hard tyres. Where does Sugar Bear come out of the pits? He's come out just behind Natsumi. Crucially, would have loved to have cleared that car. Just focus on Top Gun up the road, have a bit of a clean racetrack ahead of him. Now he's got a Ferrari just up the road. He's going to have to make that overtake before he can worry about Top Gun. SPM leads the race, 2.2 seconds. Top Gun in P2. Lap 19 of 29. It's a long race, this one. It feels like a long race, this one. Of course, 9 PM here in South Africa. 1 hour from now, we're going to have the F1 sort of car launch. Do have a poll up, and it seems like 53% of you will be watching the car launches, so very close in the voting between everybody. 7 voting no, 8 voting yes. A lot of mixed reaction to the new F1 car launches. Of course, reminder, all of the cars you see tonight will be 2024 cars with this year's livery. So it's a taste of what the cars will look like this year. But once we get to testing, I think we're going to see cars that look quite different. .131.0 goes the way of Spike's quickest lap of the race. Where is Spike's? Let's have a look. There he is. He's on a new set of medium tyres. So obviously the track working for those mediums right now. Man in P2, he's got a new set of medium tyres. Sugar Bear, 1 lap on those mediums. He's got past Natsumi, and now he can look up the road and see if he can see the spec that is SPM. The gap is 7 seconds. Will he be able to close it using that superior tyre? Or is the gap just a little too large? Good to saying fashion show cars. Pretty sure that's what they're going to be. Pretty sure they couldn't even start them up. They probably don't have motors in them. It's like that Red Bull that's been floating around all the shopping centres here in South Africa. Realistically, there's nothing in that car. It's a show car. Imagine bringing a real F1 car to South Africa and just leaving it in the mall parking lot. Doubt that would end well. There's the Ferrari in the pits and out the pits. That's how quick the pit stop is in Formula 1. Going to re-emerge behind the Williams, is he? He is. Andre goes up into P3. He's got a set of hard tyres, 8 laps old. He'll be looking good to the end of the race. If he wants to hold on to that podium, he's got some work to do. All those cars behind him on fresh mediums. He's got an aging set of hards. Sabi has left the session. That's disappointing. We didn't see it, but he got disqualified and then left the session. Did have issues prior to the race, trying to get into the lobby. Game throwing all sorts of strange errors at him, so hopefully that disqualification or that retirement has nothing to do with that. It was just a self-inflicted mistake. It is so frustrating when technology works against you. When you've been waiting for the race, you've been waiting for the build-up, and then technology lets you down. Something that can happen on the racetrack, something that can happen with me here in the comms box. You saw it last week, Wednesday. It was a disaster class. SPM seems to be doing enough for the time being. It's a 6-second gap. It is coming down ever so slightly, but with the amount of laps to go, if it carries on coming down at that rate, it should be an easy one for the Mercedes. Don't want to mention it, but I'm gonna mention it. If it becomes a commentator's curse, I apologize, but no penalties on the screen, so everybody behaving really well, staying within the lines. We've seen in the past, penalties can cost you a podium, they can even cost you a race win. As you go over the line in P1 with that penalty, you see yourself drop to P2 or P3 depending on how close the field is. Immediately you remember that moment you got the penalty. You just want to curse that moment, curse yourself. Sunder still showing his support, not Shumi in P8. He's just made that final pit stop and emerged in P8. He's got a bit of work to do if he wants a good result out of this race. SPM, gap was 6 seconds. It is coming down, and it is coming down substantially, but I think Gilbert is going to have to close it even faster. 5.2 seconds is the gap. Commentator's curse is a thing. I thought I'd test it, and it works. Said there was no penalties on your screen. There you go. There's a penalty. Maybe if I start talking about rain enough, it'll rain in the deserts of Bahrain. Ironically, rain is in the name. There we go, visor. Well. Yep, the commentator's curse. It's real. It's real. It haunts the comms box here in NFR. It's happened so many times, and well, that's just for good measure. That's just for good measure. I said, hopefully this doesn't trigger the commentator's curse. There's no penalties on your screen. Then suddenly we got one. Let's just throw in a second. So if there was a battle for the lead, that battle has now ended. Sugar Bear was closing in quickly, 4.4 seconds, but now he's added 3 seconds to his time with that penalty. So effectively this is a 7.2 second lead. Looks like a 4.2 second lead, but he's just made life a little bit more difficult for himself now. It's SPM, Sugar Bear and Spikes. Focusing on those three on the podium, little further back in P4, we've got to make a champ. Good job, we want to hold on to that position, but still far from holding on to that position. He's got Bancherstar just behind him, not far behind Bancherstar is Andre. He was on the podium not so long ago. Hard tyres not working out for him. There's a Red Bull on the inside, and that's as close as you're going to get to a car without making contact with the car. Very nicely done between these two. Top driving between Andre and Top Gun. Respect from both drivers. It's one thing to make the pass. You still need the respect of the other driver. Otherwise things can end very, very badly for both of you. Star in P5, chasing naked champ. You can still get that P4. Podium might be out of the question, but P4 still very much on the table. As for SPM, I think the moment he saw that penalty pop up, he just breathed a large sigh of relief. That gap was coming down, still coming down, but with the addition of that 3-second penalty, just made his life that much easier. Getting very, very close to the pit wall there. Sugar Bear, not quite sure what he was doing. Very, very close to the pit wall. Spikes is doing it too. Maybe it was just a secret racing line I didn't know about, but spikes on the outside of the circuit. Sugar Bear was very close to that pit wall. Mr. Puppy was doing a little victory lap over the line, but still a few laps to go. And look at this madness to the inside. Almost looked like 3 cars were going to go by. So now it's just Bench Star and Top Gun. Naked Champ loses 2 positions just like that. Country Star 2.5 seconds away from a possible podium. He's running out of laps to do it. SPM, Sugar Bear 3.2 seconds. What could have been? What a battle could have been if this track continued coming down at this rate. I think we'd see these two battling it out in the last 2 laps of the race. That penalty, it might have just taken a bit of spice out of it. It's so important for Sugar Bear to keep on pushing, because if SPM picks up a penalty of his own, Sugar Bear's going to feel awfully silly if he started backing off. And again, Sugar Bear to the inside, stays very, very close to that pit wall. Interesting to see how the different drivers take different lines, interpret the track in a different way. Maybe just trying to avoid some bumps on the outside. Maybe he knows something everybody else doesn't. As you can see, the other cars going for the more traditional line. Sugar Bear doing something very different there over the pit straight. SPM 2.9 seconds. Of course, if this is your first visit to the channel, hope you have enjoyed your time here so far. Remember to subscribe to the channel so you can get a little notification every single time we upload. We do SKR and SAFRL. We also do other events from time to time. We had HRA on this channel last week, and from what I hear, we might have HRA on this channel pretty soon again. So stay tuned for an update. We've been here many times before. If you're one of the regulars to NFR, remember to leave a like on the video, it really helps us out. If you're not part of the NFR Discord community, that's your excuse. If you don't have Discord, download Discord. There's the link there in the bio under the video. Join the NFR community. Trying to grow it into an F1 community that goes even beyond Sim world. SPM still leads, Sugar Bear still P2, 2.6 seconds is the gap, but remember there's a 3-second penalty going the way of Sugar Bear. Spikes P3. He has cleared the P4, he's got a 2.1 second gap, so seems like this podium is pretty secure with just 2 laps to go, 3 laps to go. He keeps on texting me at the front. Stop texting me about the damn car launch. SPM still out front, Sugar Bear in P2, Spikes P3, Naked Champ, Top Gun, Country Star. Look at this madness here. I think the race is over. The race is far from over. Guys are saying L race. As long as it's not L commentary, so long as it's not L NFR. I did not cause that penalty. It would have been a much, much closer race. Look at the gap, 2.2 seconds. You can now see SPM up the road. They're in the same frame. SPM would be a lot more panicked were it not for that penalty. Now he needs to make sure he doesn't do anything silly. To make sure he doesn't run over any lines with a penalty of his own, because if these penalties suddenly become neutralized and this becomes a 2.5 second gap, then we've got a race on our hands. Spikes over the line to start his lap 28 of 29. Not long to go now. 2.6 seconds at the front. Sugar Bear is just feeling a little bit deflated because of that penalty. It's not just just about catching and passing that car. You'd have to build an awful gap in order to maintain that lead. Does have a 25-second lead down to the man in P3, so he will retain that P2, won't lose any positions. The only thing that penalty has done is taken a bit of a sting out of the race. Nice curb camera there of the cars coming by. SPM Sugar Bear, 2.8 seconds. Now they head around the final corner to start the final lap, lap 29 of 29. It's felt like a long race, but it's almost over. Still 53% of you saying yes, you're going to watch the show. I don't know if I'm going to watch the show. I watch everything F1. Okay, maybe not everything. I don't watch Drive to Survive. I've officially watched season 1 of Drive to Survive, and that was that. Naked Champ still trying to hold on to his P4. It's really anyone's guess who's going to finish here in P4. Naked Champ, Top Gun, Pantry Star, all in for that position, all fighting for that position. Spike's got a little bit of a lead up the road, so he'll be comfortable. Paying too much attention to his mirrors. It looks like the top 3 are going to finish in those positions, so let's stay with this battle. Naked Champ P4 defending from Top Gun P5 and Pantry Star P6. A bit of a lockup. It's going to allow Top Gun to get very close here on the exit. Pantry Star opens up DRS and starts bobbing and weaving. Naked Champ, has he done enough to hold on to this P4? If he has done enough, needs a round of applause as he goes over the line, because this has been tough. He's had to defend. Hasn't been able to stay with Spikes, but he might just lose that position around the last corner. The Red Bull thought better of it, and may have compromised himself here on the exit. Spikes over the line, Naked Champ over the line, Top Gun, then Pantry Star. He was able to just hold on to it, 800ths of a second. Andre over the line in P7. We now wait for that second Selber. This was the other Selber driver that also started on the hard tyre. Worked out differently for his teammate. His teammate finished all the way up the road in P2. Looks like a huge gap, 6.2 seconds, but remember, half of that was a penalty. Skulk does get over the line in P9. We now just wait for Virus, Nochumi, and the Ghost Lord. Nochumi taking his own route. Wonder if he knows he's live. Nochumi, what are you doing? This is how you cost yourself a Ferrari contract. Well, I'm just saying, if Hamilton does this on round 1, well, not going to be there very long. Wait now to see who is announced as driver of the day. It's Naked Champ. Fantastic drive from him to finish in P4, and he had to do some really good defensive driving at the end in order to hold on to things. Brief look at the podium, and we move on to those results. So SPM takes the victory, started in pole position, finished P1. Nicely done. Sugar Bear P2, started 5th on the grid, so good result for him. Then Spikes 8th on the grid, finished P3, great result. Naked Champ P4. Then you got Top Gun Pantry Star, Andre in P7, Skulk P8, Virus P9, and Nochumi taking the final point and the fastest lap, so he's picking up 2 points on the night. No points on the night for Ghost Lord. He finished just on the wrong side of the top 10. He finished P11, and then the 2 retirements of Skull. Actually, the 1 retirement of Skull and the disqualification of Sabi. course, thanks, folks. That was the end of Season 10, Round 6 in Bahrain. We had quite a few viewers here. We even had some new names here, some new faces. So it's always good to try and grow the audience a little bit, and hopefully we'll see some of those names back here. But to all my regulars, thank you very much. We will allow just a few minutes to see if anybody does decide to join the Discord, and then I'll either be back with somebody or I'll be back by myself to say goodbye. Till then, enjoy a little music.
Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beat. Engines roar, can't stay off seat. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. NFR, NFR. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, yeah. NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush.
Welcome back, everybody. Seems like we're not going to get anybody in the Discord today. We always get Andre in the Discord if he finishes in top 3, so let's hope he finishes in the top 3 soon. Of course, I want to thank everybody once more for joining us here this evening. We had some good viewership, we got some good likes, and I'm very appreciative of it. The channel's going to take a bit of a break. We're going to be back on Sunday with SKR at 6 o'clock. Until then, you can enjoy the F1 sort of launches tonight. It'll be an interesting show. If I don't get annoyed and switch it off, hopefully we can all enjoy. If you haven't joined the Discord server, remember, download Discord, hit the bio under the video, join the NFR Discord server. We're trying to grow that community beyond YouTube, and I'd love to see all my YouTube regulars on that page. So of course, one more time, thank you all, and I'll see you on Sunday. Till next time, cheers.
His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride. Crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride. Crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's right, crushing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name, but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Turn on the screen, it's SAFRL. Feel the rush like a shooting star.